What is up, Giants fans? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Big Blue with JQ. Honestly, welcome back to the 3-1 podcast. The New York Giants have officially been moved to 3-1. They just beat the Bears 20-12 in their week 4 matchup at home. I was there. Another great win. The team's buzzing, and I'm here with Tom. Tom, how are you? I also have no voice again a little bit, 3 straight weeks in a row. So sorry about this.
I'm good, man. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how this is happening week after week after week. Again, I'm not complaining. It's been a blast. But so people at work that everyone, there's a million different personalities over there. So a million different people from all over the country, different fans, different teams. And they're like, hey man, who do you root for? I go, the Giants, unfortunately. This was earlier in the year. And then nowadays they're like, hey man, they're the Giants. I go, they're 3-1. Don't ask me how. I usually draw a laugh every time I say that. I'm good though. I didn't lose my voice, thank God.
Not yet.
It's kind of been a plus of having to work these weekends. I'm not in front of the TV going bananas all weekend. But yeah, dude, 3-1. An absolute disaster. What looks like this coming week because everyone under the sun is on the injury report. But I'm good, dude. I'm good.
Good. I mean, I'm happy you're good because now you'll probably get to watch the game in front of the TV Sunday morning since it's at 9:30 in London.
Yeah,
which will be fun. But yeah, let's talk about this game, dude. A wild finish. It was another gritty win, another like scrappy win, like this team's been all year. This is how they're gonna win this year. This team. Saquon Barkley ended up being RB1, QB1, and wide receiver 1 all in one game. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, what, he throw a touchdown pass or something? They run some trick play. No, he played quarterback for almost an entire quarter, excuse me. Daniel Jones goes down. He gets rolled up on a sack on his ankle, comes out of the game, comes back in. Got to give the guy a lot of credit. He always battles the injuries, and he's one tough cookie. I will say that. Tyrod Taylor comes in, plays 2 drives, gets banged up, gets a concussion, out the rest of the game. And that's when the funny Saquon quote comes out post-game. He goes, I saw Tyrod go down, and he goes, ooh, I'm next. And that was the cool thing because Dable was literally drawing up the plays on like a whiteboard on the sideline for them to run. Him, Matt Breida, Gary Brightwell, all the running backs in that Wildcat formation. And the Giants were able to get it done for like 12 plus minutes, pick up first downs, and march down the field to win the game. And the defense did their job on there and held up their end of the bargain. And everything worked out and everything won. But I got to just send so much love to Saquon because it's what he does is unreal for this team. Without him this year, I don't know what this team would look like. I don't know what their record would look like. He had 90 rushing yards in the first half, and he finished the game with 146 total rushing yards, which is unbelievable. He had a career high in carries too. He had 31, but the team overall ran for 262 yards. Before Daniel went out, he ran for 68 yards, excuse me. So, and this is a running team. They run the ball, they score, and I couldn't be happier because you love seeing them win. And when you're there in person and you're watching them all run around, make crazy plays with their legs, it's really cool to see.
What touchdowns was it your end zone for?
The first Daniel Jones touchdown was in my corner of the end zone. That was sick. The bootleg killed the Bears all day until Daniel Jones got tackled and wrapped up and rolled his ankle, unfortunately. But all day, that bootleg, that tight end play action rollout, it worked so well. And when I saw him tuck it and run in the video I posted on the Talking Big Blue Instagram page, you hear me in the background, yeah, like, go Daniel, go Daniel. So it's just funny because I don't know, I just get a kick out of it. And I saw him just take off, and it was wide open. And a great block at the end by who was it again? It was by a great block by Tanner Hudson at the end too to let Daniel get into the end zone. The tight ends, they led the way this weekend for the receiving core. They had the most total yards, and the Giants receivers, they were there. They were hanging out. Saquon Barkley had better stats than any of the wide receivers. So did Tanner Hudson and Daniel Bellinger, but it doesn't matter when you get the win. And if you can run for almost 300 yards, you're going to win and you're going to kill a lot of time off the clock. So it was a fast moving game. It was entertaining. This is the first time this season the Giants have scored a touchdown in the first half. They actually scored two Daniel Jones rushing touchdowns, which it was awesome. He scored on the same play on one side of the field and on the other side of the field. And that's all because of the play calling that Mike Kafka and Brian Dable do. On the one where Daniel Jones scored the first touchdown, they had Andrew Thomas pulled to the right with Saquon Barkley, the play action run that way. So all the eyes are on those two. They're like, okay, here he comes up the right side. And Daniel Jones, the way he just held the ball like close to his body when he tucked it away and ran, no one saw him. He's elusive. What else can you say about the guy? He's an elusive human being. And I don't know, Tom, it was just a lot of fun, man. The forecast said it was going to rain. It didn't rain once. It rained once during the game, like before halftime. It lightly drizzled, and I was very happy about that.
Yeah, it's cool to see success happening with these guys, considering coming into the year they really didn't make that many improvements to the roster. You know what I mean? They had their draft class. They had Kayvon and Evan Neal, and all the other guys they drafted. But in terms of free agency, they didn't have any money to spend on people. So it's cool to see with all, give or take, just about most of the same roster as last year coming into this year. They're finding ways to succeed. They're not trying to do too much. Dable and Kafka, like you said, they're drawing up plays. They're working with what they're making work with what they have. They're working with what they got, and it's working. I don't care. It's gonna be the word all week that they're probably the grossest looking, like worst 3-1 team in the history of 3-1 teams. They're probably right. But at the end of the day, what did I say 2 weeks ago about when teams have easy schedules? It's a lose-lose, because if you lose to the bad teams, you get crapped on for losing to bad teams. And then if you win most of the games, you don't get any credit because you're playing bad teams. Never makes any sense. The world is a crazy place, but it's fun to see. It's fun to see them having fun. They're playing with heart. They're putting 110% effort on the field every minute of every game. Also, you're there, so I don't know if they know that you're there, and that has any driving factor to do with it. Saquon looks unbelievable, and I think just about everybody in terms of analysts and people that talk about football all week, they know it too. They see it now. He hasn't lost a step. The whole he's getting older thing, that doesn't matter. He's a freak athlete, and they're moving. They're taking it week by week, dude. They're not a team that is good enough to have look ahead games. They just go in figuring out how can we win this game. Did they have a wildcat package planned for that game? Probably not. But when Danny got hurt, Dable probably looked at Kafka and said, let's try it out. If they had it drawn up 1 week while they were just, shooting the shit in practice. And it worked. They won. Defense was scrappy. That lateral play was very up and down in terms of your heart racing a million miles a minute, because there were times when it looked like they had the Bears had a breakaway.
Yeah, that was terrifying. That's terrifying.
I can only imagine. But obviously they didn't work. Giants won. And they're finding ways to win games. And it doesn't really matter in terms of trying to stack yourself up with the other successful teams in the league. For a Giants fan, just be happy that they're trying to win these games, and they are winning these games. And if you told me a month ago that going into the second weekend of October, the Giants are 3-1, I would have laughed at you. I would have laughed so hard I probably would have broke the speaker. So let's just keep it moving.
That's it. And I want to go back to what you were saying about Saquon, because I don't think people really understand it yet, what I've been seeing in person. I think this is the best he's ever played in his career. I mean, not stat-wise, not whatever, just the way he's running the ball. It's not like everyone always used to make fun of him. Oh, he's dancing this and that in the backfield. He's trying to find a hole. He's just hitting every hole he has and taking 4 to 5, 6 yards every single time he gets the ball. Even if it's 2 to 3 yards, he's not taking many losses on a running attempt. Let's just leave it at that. He's just running hard. He's focused, and he's the leader of the team. Him and Daniel Jones are the clear-cut leaders of this team. And that one screen pass where he caught it on 3rd and 9 in the backfield, broke a tackle and made that shimmy move, and then shifted it upfield, caught a block from Daniel Jones and ran for 15 yards, the crowd went berserk. And I wish that was closer to our end, but it was cool that they were facing the other end zone because you actually saw him and not like him behind the defense making that play. So when you saw that and I saw him cut back upfield and I saw Daniel Jones lay that nice block on the corner there, I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is heaven. Is this what heaven feels like? I was like, this is awesome. It's really cool to see that just the team, everyone's doing their job. And it really shows on the field. Everyone's blocking well. That was the best run blocking game I've seen. Obviously, when you run for 260 plus yards, it should be their best run blocking game. But the O-line held down their own. And then with the injuries, when guys went out, everyone just stepped up. The next man up stepped up. Brian Dable said on the sideline, I saw a clip of like him mic'd up. Next guy steps up. We win this game, play by play. Let's ride. He didn't say let's ride, but I'm saying let's ride.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Evan Neal had a much better game too.
Much better. Did his job. Andrew Thomas is a freak of nature. He shut down Robert Quinn all damn day. The guy's a certified baller. But no, Evan Neal looked great until he went out. He had like that neck injury or something, so he went out. But they said he should be fine. I was looking at reports. They said he should be fine. I mean, I'm sure it would have been talked about more if it was serious. So that's a good thing, obviously. But no, he looked a lot better. And just the team all around looked a lot better. But like you were saying, Tom, they played a team that I think is definitely worse than them. And they're not going to get praised for beating a team like this. It's like, oh, you should beat this team, whatever. I knew going into the game that they were going to win this game. And if they lost this game, I think it would have been really bad because that Bears team is not good. And I know the Giants are not great. But, I mean, with the right coaching that they have this year, they look like a well-rounded team.
They're competing. They're winning games that they have a legitimate chance to win. I really think, in terms of like the way the schedule was, through 4 games, there were 2 that they could have, should have, and did win, and then there were 2 that could kind of go back and forth, and they wound up splitting them. Like Tennessee, nobody expected them to win. They were a touchdown underdog. They fought and won that one. We thought they could beat the Panthers. They did. We prayed to the gods that they could get it done in prime time against the Cowboys without Dak. Didn't happen, but that's okay. Like we said last week, Cowboys are still a really, really good team all around. And then again, the Bears are not good. The Giants aren't great, like you said perfectly, but that's a game they can win and they should win, and they did win. So just keep competing.
My prediction for this year, I know this is a little into the future. I think we're going to see them beat some better, well-rounded teams this year. I know the Titans are one, but I think I see them beating better teams on their schedule. I really do. I think if they play well and their defense locks it down like they did last week, I think teams are going to have a tough time getting past them. And I think with Saquon, if he's healthy all year, I think it's an endless possibility because every team this year, besides like the Titans, has stacked the box against Saquon. And he still is making plays. That's the crazy part. With an offensive line that's not top tier in this league, he's still making plays against a stacked box, and he's still rushing for 146 yards. That's unheard of. So for him to be making plays like this in the passing game and in the running game, it's unbelievable. You don't see it very often, but it's great. It's great. And you know what else is great? The defense. The defense is great. They had 5 sacks on Sunday. Dexter Lawrence had 2. That guy is an animal, and he always has been. I can't wait to see him and Leonard Williams back together. Hopefully this weekend in London would be really nice. But they are a great duo. We missed out on seeing Leonard Williams on the field this Sunday, but the defense held it down with 5 sacks. Jahad Ward, another great player, great at stopping the run. And give it up to Jalen Smith, coming off the practice squad this weekend. Was with Dallas his whole career, was on the Giants last year, came back for that Dallas game. Didn't play last week against Dallas, but they got him a lot of valuable reps this weekend, and it was good. He played the run really well, and he's a freak athlete. It's kind of crazy to see a guy like that of his size, his nature. No other 31 teams in the league wanted him, which is the crazy thing. And then he comes to the Giants and he makes plays in the run game, and he was making plays in coverage. He did a great job all around, and he played valuable reps, which is really cool. So love to see that. Love to see him moving forward. But the defense as a whole, Tom, they're an animal. They're an animal. And with guys going out, like Julian Love had a concussion, Azeez Ojulari left the game with a little calf injury again, a little strain. But besides that, the defense held it down, and they did a really good job. And I'm proud of them. Tate Crowder, another guy too. 8 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. They did a great job, Tom. I'm very proud of them. A couple stat lines for them. Great job.
Wink Martindale is just turning guys that we always thought could pan out, but just hadn't. He's turning those guys into just absolute defensive players. Like Julian Love's been on the team for like 4 or 5 years now, and everyone thought that he had the potential to be pretty good, but nothing ever panned out with all the terrible coaches they've had over the years. And here comes Wink, and it's just they're vibing, they're thriving. It's weird because they have such continuity on this roster because they've been so bad. They've just been trying to develop everybody. They haven't been selling house every single year. So when you bring great coaches into the mix, these guys have been playing together for years already. So when you just kind of show them how to actually play together and play successful football, the team chemistry, which was already at probably a 70, is now at like a 90. And the defense is the rock of the team. And then, you got Danny and Saquon are the heart. And that's all you can ask for.
It's a good recipe, I'd say.
It's a good recipe. The Jalen Smith thing is very interesting because I know he's had a lot of injury history and he didn't really pan out for a while, but that guy has the potential. If Wink coaches him right and he stays healthy, that has the potential to speak on insurmountable dividends.
Yeah, he had 7 total tackles and 6 solo tackles in his first game with the Giants in over like a year. So he's a playmaker and he was a difference maker. And the edge rushers for the Giants, Azeez and Kayvon, they're a good duo, and they could be a good duo for a long time heading forward. Mm-hmm. Kayvon Thibodeau might be the fastest player on the defense. I saw him. Justin Fields rolled out of the pocket, rolled left, and Kayvon was on the right side because he was lined up against the left tackle, right? He chased him down to where the point where Justin Fields had to turn out of bounds instead of trying to cut it upfield more because he would have got tackled. He is so fast. I would never expect the DN to be that fast. And that's how the game of football has always been evolving. These guys are just getting faster and faster. You see a tight end run like a 4-flat 40-yard dash. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? What is this? But anyway, he was great. He got into the backfield a lot. He had a couple pressures. He almost had a sack too on Justin Fields. Him, Dexter Lawrence, and Azeez all won a rep, but Justin Fields just made a great play and scrambled out for a first down. They were all right there. They would have had a combined sack, all 3 of them. It was really cool. But he gets double teamed a lot. As a rookie, he gets double teamed a lot. I know I'm repeating myself right there, but it's let's say that the tight end makes a chip block, then goes out for a route. Then he's got to get past the tight end, then the tackle. It's just a lot of high praise for Kayvon, and they give him a lot of attention. And Azeez off the edge had that 4-sack fumble, and Kayvon picked it up. That was a weird play because no one knew what it was. Everyone saw the flag on the field, and it was it was probably holding because we all saw Azeez slip around his tackle and make a nice sack or incompletion. And then after the flag, the ref just goes, and after the fumble, the Giants picked up the ball, New York heading this way, and the crowd, you heard a gasp. Everyone was like, what? And then everyone started cheering. So great play by them, and heads up play by Kayvon to jump on that football. So I just love it, Tom. I mean, it feels great to win, and it's a lot of fun to watch them win in person. It's so much better than watching on the TV. I wish I can go to all the away games too. That would be fun. I do want to catch an away game this year. I don't know where, but so far it's been a lot of fun, man. It's been a lot of fun, and Saquon Barkley it's just my favorite player. I've always said this on this podcast. It's a lot of fun to see him succeeding again because he's just awesome. Total scrimmage yards, he leads the NFL. Total rushing yards, he's the NFL leader. It's a good feeling. It's really cool.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a tricky situation to figure out with the whole quarterback ordeal because Danny's banged up with the foot, which takes away pretty much everything that makes him a relatively decent quarterback. Tyrod Taylor's got a concussion. That ain't good. And then we'll get into that more when we preview the London game, just because it'll be a couple of days. A couple of days will have passed, and we'll know more. But as of now, we don't have a starting quarterback on Sunday. But who
Yes.
cares? They won. It's a third victory Monday in 4 weeks.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's crazy. I don't remember last year when they got their third victory. Because what they finished 4-13 last year?
Right
I think
now.
so. Yeah, take a look. But also back to like the injury report, they said Daniel Jones was day to day. So that's not bad. I mean, but it's an ankle sprain. I don't know if it's high or low or whatever it is, middle, medium. Who knows? It's an ankle sprain for a mobile quarterback, and that's just not ideal. So we'll see what happens. If they sit him out a week, what are you going to do about it? It's going to be a tough game no matter what. It's a game they can win. Any team can win in the NFL any given weekend. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And Tom, when you get that information, let it loose.
Giants got their third win November 7th against the Raiders.
That was a good game too. Xavier
Yeah.
McKinney pick 6, but November 7th it was.
Yeah, because they were 0-3, and then they beat the Saints in overtime, and then they lost the next two, and then they beat the Panthers 25-3, and then they lost. Excuse me, they lost to the Chiefs, and then they beat the Raiders 23-16.
So they're a full month ahead of schedule with their wins.
Yeah, pretty much. They're
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
They won 4 games last year. They've already won 3. So
Awesome. Love that.
The win total of the Vegas win total of, I think it opened at 8 and it closed, like it opened at 8 when like training camp started, and now it's at, and then I think it closed at 7. That's all of a sudden looking pretty shabby.
Pretty nice. Pretty nifty. So, but yeah, Tom, I think I'm good if you're good. I think we covered everything. And just to point out to fans out there that listen to this podcast who might not be fans of Giants, your team can still win if your receivers don't have more than 2 catches. So just saying, David Sills, 1 catch, Kenny Golladay, 1 catch, Richie James, 1 catch.
And this isn't college.
262 rushing yards.
This
can
isn't
win you
college.
a football game.
This isn't college. You don't get style points for winning certain ways. In the NFL, it only matters if you win.
And a win is a win, like you've been saying for the past 3 years of this podcast.
Yep, it's all about the W. And are the Giants the worst 3-1 team in the history of football? Probably. But do I care? No.
Not at all. Not at all. But listen, they might turn into one of the better 3-1 teams. Or let's say they win this weekend somehow. They pull off a miracle in London. Then people are going to start being like, oh, look at the Giants, this and that. Well, listen, if you're going to hop on the bandwagon, you should have started when the season started. So, but this is fun. This is good. 3-1, heading to London, 9:30 Eastern time, Sunday morning. I'll be up. I'm gonna fly to London tonight. No, I'm kidding. I wish. But yeah, Sunday morning against the Packers. We'll have a game preview for you guys. We didn't have one for the Bears game. We were busy. We're working adults now. So we don't always have the same schedule like we did in college. But anyways, We'll see you on the game preview, guys. Enjoy your victory week again. I mean, this is kind of cool. This is getting cool. This is getting really cool. So that's all I got.
Later.